You're on mute, Jess.
Oh.
You're on mute.
I was wondering, like, do I say something?
I'm just talking, doing my spill, and I'm muted, right? Yeah.
Retake.
We just started off just right. Well, anyway, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Aquatic Morning Show, where the Aquarius go to be in the know right here at the Aquatic Morning Show. And we have Miss Kasha with Creative Peaking. And we got Papa Shrimp as my co-host this morning. So we're going to have a good old morning this morning. That's right.
Your intro is so fun. Like, the music just really hypes you up. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is cool. I'm ready.
Well, it's supposed to be, like, my whole idea is to be like the morning show, like the Good Morning America, you know? So, and I wanted, like, the news kind of theme. So it kind of reminds me of, like, news.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Even though we're more entertainment than
news for you.
Yeah. But I mean, look, there's only so much fish news out there. So, and Alex usually has that completely wrapped up in a ball. So that's okay. We get to steal a little bit of Alex every day. So let me run through and say good morning to the people that are here in chat. We got 28 already. Wow. Y'all are rolling. Craig, I said Greg. Wow, see, here we go. It starts. Craig Doniger, good morning. Craig's Catfish Cave. Miss Lori, my wonderful mod. Master Aquatics just called me Eduardo. Good morning, Eduardo. Bigfoot Fish Tank. Dennis, it's so good to see you back in here, Dennis. Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics. Good morning, Brennan. Miss Patty. Is that Miss Patty?
That's Miss Patty.
My goodness, Miss Patty is here. Hey, Miss Patty. It's so good to see you. Gina's Reef. Hey, lady. Sharpie. From across the ocean. And Dennis Christensen. Miss Dee says that so much. Okay, you say it good too. I just can't say it. I try to elongate it like a Southern word. I try to elongate it or throw another syllable in there. Glassbox Hero, and he says it just as good as he does. Yo, it's time for the Aquatic Morning Show. Lurking and working.
Yeah.
That's right.
Excited.
Mike's Reptiles and Aquatic. Good morning. Mystery Snail Guardians. Well, she snailed it. Not from the start, but she did snail it. Eric Wyrock. Good morning. He says, good morning, fish family.
Good morning, everyone.
Right? Wow. Brookley Bell. We stole Brookley. See, I cannot talk. I'm going to be sticky mouth today, I guess.
It's okay. It happens.
Brookley Bell. Lady. We stole her from down in South Louisiana. When we went down there, we got her to open her wings and fly with the fish down. Fish on Taintix. There's Miss Q Aquatics just in time. Miss Susie Q.
Yeah, everyone's popping in.
Yeah. Stephen P. Where's Banana? We were looking at Banana before the show.
Oh, yeah, I could bring out Banana again. Banana, come here. She's always conveniently right here. Come on.
Right?
Come on. There you go. Oh, there's the poppers.
There's Banana.
You gotta look right there. The camera, no, I know kisses.
My question is, how did you come up with the name Banana?
Oh, so we used to have a family dog. Banana, go over here. We used to have a black Labrador. She was our family dog. And her mother's name was Chiquita because she was really small, like a really small black lab. And then I got to pet sit her as a kid, her mom, and I really fell in love with her. My parents were like, I don't know if you're ready for a dog yet. And then one day they bred her and she had puppies. Yeah. And then one of the puppies, because all the puppies were brown and her mom was black with a white spot.
Okay.
One puppy was black with a white spot.
Aw.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one. That's the one that's like at like her mom. So I was like, I'm gonna name her right after her mom. So I named her Chiquita again, which is small, like in Spanish, like Chiquita bananas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then afterwards, when she got really old, I think she was 16 years old. She had her 5th stroke. At that point, we were like, we're gonna probably have to euthanize her soon because she's just starting to struggle.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, could not imagine my life without another dog. So I did a weird thing where I started looking in shelters. And because my parents, I was still living at my parents' house and I lived like upstairs, which was separate. And my parents had Chiquita downstairs, which was separate. I was like, if I bring another dog in, it's not going to bother her. Like they can meet, but she'll still be like, her space will be respected as like an elder dog. And then when I got Banana, her shelter name was Annie. And I was like, Annie's a nice name, but it's like, I'm not feeling it 100%.
Yeah, right.
And then I was like, because I wanted her to like,
to represent,
continue on like in her steps, I was like, I'm gonna call her Banana, like Chiquita Banana, like after the banana. That's where the name came from. It's kind of odd, but it's funny to like when I'm outside, I'm calling her and I'm like Banana, and people are like, what?
Why are you calling for fruit from the sky? It's ready for the
pretty
sky.
Much.
Banoski Tanks, good morning. New Local Austin, Stephen P, good morning. I hope Jenna is having a good time in Vegas, even though she's having to work, but she's going to play a little bit, I think. Kenestito Valley Cichlids, what's going on this morning? Paul McCarthy, good morning. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Ooh, I see his name. There he is. There's the one and only Kenny E. Duncan Aquatic. What up, fish people? Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody real quick before we move on.
You putting that coffee this morning, Jess?
I'm telling you, I got more than 3 hours sleep. I got more than 3 hours sleep.
You're making it work.
Yeah. Rich T, good morning.
I forgot to make coffee, so I just got water. We're just gonna rock it with that.
I wish, and I know at some point in my life, and probably soon, it's not going to matter whether or not I like water or not. I'm going to have to start drinking it. But as of right now, I still don't drink water at all.
Really?
At all.
It's not good for you.
I don't like it.
Listen to me. I don't drink water either.
Yeah.
I used to be a little picky about it, and then I don't know which movie it was, but I watched a movie about people in the desert, and the whole movie was about like water being such a scarce and precious resource, and like how everyone was like really thirsty and like struggling throughout the whole movie. At the end of the movie, I was like, I need water.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah, I don't know. Since then, like it's something like changed, and I'm like, water's precious. Maybe you gotta try that. You just gotta watch some desert movies, documentaries.
Right. That reminds me. Somebody told me the other day, and I mean, I have no clue whether this is true or not. Oh, it's my mother-in-law. On TikTok, that they're putting subliminal messages behind the videos. And I'm like, well, haven't they been doing that in like commercials and all other kinds of stuff since like the 70s in rock music and stuff like that? So I was like, oh, it's nothing new. It's just they found another route to do it. But I don't know. I don't know how much I believe that. It's hard for me to think that something that I don't see or read can make me want to eat it or get it or, whatever the message would be. I think they said that the messages were more politically geared right now. But I don't know. It's a thought, just out there. I don't know.
It's interesting because I mean, like even with the fish tube, like if we have any sponsors or like companies we want to promote, like so many times like I or other people will put like the bottle of something in the background and you don't acknowledge it, but it's visibly there. So you're
There we go.
It's there to let you know I use it and I like it, but I also don't want to have to mention it every time. So I guess that could be
Yeah.
an example of like how we would use subliminal messaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like hopefully in like a good way. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. You know, there's certain colors that you use, certain fonts, all the different things that you do that's to attract people to your channel. So it is somewhat subliminal, but you know, who knows how people think as far as watching a video and then I am going to eat that forever. You know,
I just think of the stuff supposedly running backwards in the videos instead of something like, you know, sitting there that you just, you know, see but don't see, you know, and then later you want a pizza or whatever. Yeah, I think of you play it one way and then you rewind it and it plays a whole nother message going the other way.
Oh, like some fancy super secret like.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder because like me and Daniel, our favorite like pastime used to be we used to like watching like the alien conspiracy videos about like it would be about like aliens built the pyramids and it was like really was fun. Like we don't really like entirely like believe in it, but it's so fun to like see like to watch.
What is that? History Channel has that. Ancient
aliens.
Yeah, Daniel for a while used to do that whole like where the guy's always like something about the ancient aliens. He's like this with his hair, cool. And Daniel like he'll be like, oh my gosh.
Look, we're going to get Kasha a tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat.
Sometimes I mean I have a list in the back of my head of like videos I want to do.
Yeah.
That I like sometimes I do, sometimes I never get to it. And one of it legitimately was like put a tinfoil hat on and be like conspiracy theories about fish with Kasha. Yeah. And I would like talk about stuff that I've heard in the hobby, but I haven't seen anyone like actually back it up with anything like concrete.
Yeah.
Hey, one example would have been like when people use like Melafix on bettas, people say that you can't use any of the fix products because they have oils in them, essential oils, and they say that it will get on the labyrinth organ and then the betta won't be able to breathe. But when you create tannins from Indian almond leaves, that releases oils as well. So that like that's why I was starting to ask the questions that I'm like, but is it bad, or is it bad because just the medication, maybe the dosage, or maybe that medication isn't just overall good for bettas, and maybe there's another reason.
Right.
So it's like that entirely. I don't want to entirely debunk it. Just ask a lot of questions because there's so much floating around the hobby.
That sounds
you have to ask.
Right. You should do that. You should do that. That would be a good video.
To the list. They'll give me a good idea, good excuse to like.
But I'm going to be looking for. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for the tinfoil hat.
Right.
Dennis Christensen said that my I love shrimp thing works.
It does.
That's true. Although I don't know like wearing my cricket packaging like right here. I'm like, here's my branding that I'm wearing.
That's right. That's correct. Allison Nicholson, good morning. Good to see you. And let's see.
I just saw in the chat tinfoil crown.
Yeah, a tiara. There we go. A tinfoil tiara.
Oh my gosh. It reflects everything.
That's right. Just play the TikTok backwards slow and the devil talks to you. Well, I hope not.
Right.
Lord. Freshwater ichthyology. Good morning. We will have freshwater ichthyology. Freshwater ichthyology with us on Friday. I told y'all my mouth is sticky today.
You're doing your best.
Greg, good morning, Greg. And Mexicali Fish Keeper. Mexicali. There we go. It's okay. Don't laugh at me. It's okay.
It's the kind of stuff that like people don't see in videos because like that's the kind of stuff I cut out.
Yeah, right?
Because I do the same thing. Like I'll be talking about something and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a great job. And then like it just for some reason I'll blank. And then I'm staring at the camera like, oh no, I forgot what I was completely talking about. Like I try again.
Blank, or I'll say something and I just completely mess it up and I just kind of sit there like,
Yeah, you get frustrated with yourself. You're rolling. Come on.
Yeah.
At least I can cut
Get
that
it together.
Yeah. Jay Oliver, Guppies and Aquatics. Good morning. Good to see you. There we go. See you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Joseph, be nice. Behave yourself. One Aquatic Universe with Mike B. Good morning. Stopped by to say hey real quick. Well, hey, that's a new name. Did somebody change their name? Or is that somebody new?
Ooh.
No, I think it's an amendment of the name.
An amendment of a name. There's so much of that going on right now. I can't keep up with everybody. All right. I made it to the bottom of chat.
Good job.
37 people in here at the moment, and it always continues to rise. Usually by that second hour, the West Coast has woke up, and so then we get a rush of people the second hour. But they've missed the first hour, but they go back and watch because it's too good to miss.
So this morning we're here to talk about
creative pet keeping, Miss Kasha. So I got to meet Miss Kasha finally at Orlando Aquaella.
Yeah, it was so nice.
You guys, if Aquaellas are good for anything, it is so good to be able to meet your peer fish fan and then everybody else. But we had a good time, and you should go to an Aquaella just to do that.
Just once if you can.
Just once. That's right. And there's, other than the West Coast, there's one up, down, and sideways, south, north, and what would be east, southern, southeast.
I'm not good with directions. I'm just like somewhere. I just know like Orlando, Dallas, and Chicago. That's the only way I remember it. Right. You're gonna giving us our coordinates to be like, meet us at 0.033 something.
There you go. But we're still above the equator.
There we go. I'm trying to think. I'm like, are we? I don't even know. I'm also a little directionally challenged.
Facts you learn on the Aquatic Morning Show.
That's right.
Above the equator.
We are above the equator. The reason I know that, you guys, the reason I know that is because I'm trying my hardest to be able to go see Doc this summer at in Peru. And so I was, looking at the direction where Louisiana is to Peru and, all that. I didn't even know where Peru was. So now I know it's below the equator.
Oh, snaps. You got it.
I got it. You just don't want there. Not at all. Maybe I'll be able to go to Aquaella next year. Well, of course.
It gets cooler every year. Sorry.
Yep. So morning, Papa Shrimp. What about your wife? You say good morning to your wife because you already have, but or say hello to Kasha, Joe. Did you get to meet my husband at Aquaella? I think he was sitting over there with John when me and you were talking.
Probably. For me, like Aquaella becomes like a blur of like so many things. Like I don't actually recall a lot of things.
Yeah,
it happened.
I say it is, what do they call it? Emotional overload. No, sensory overload.
Yes, sensory overload. That's so true because it's you're talking to people, so you get. I mean, for me, I get like really excited, and I don't know how to like control my level of excitedness. So I tend to like explode with excitement in the morning, and then like kind of get tired, but keep it going, and then I crash.
Yes,
there's music, so it's like oomps and colors.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everyone has questions and needs all the things, and you're like, this is exciting. I'm really caffeinated, but this is also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you're just exhausted.
Yes. Yeah.
And did you do a presentation at Aquaella?
Luckily, no, because that scares me a little bit. I did do one club talk, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm back in school. I'm giving a presentation in front of everyone. I did participate in the aquascaping competition, and that was really nice because it was kind of like more chill, so like people can watch and see, but it wasn't like on a stage. which is great for me because I'm like I'm a newbie. Like I don't need the pressure of everything. So that felt really good. And then I just participated in the live streams because they were really fun. And most of the time I just kind of hung around and met everyone. And that's kind of my favorite thing, to just kind of stick around the fish tuber, and now it's becoming the Aquashell creator kind of booth where we're just meeting everyone and get to talk to everyone. Super fun.
It is. It's fun. Definitely fun. All right. Kasha, what, for somebody that doesn't know who you are, how would you explain yourself to the fish fam as a new person? Yeah. Okay. Even though you're not new to us, you've been around the whole time I've been in the fish fam.
Yeah, kind of like, I've been around for a long time. This year I'm gonna hit 12 years of being on YouTube.
Wow.
So that's quite a lot. But hello, my name is Kasha. My channel is Creative Pet Keeping, and I've been just sharing my journey of taking care of my pets over the years. It started off with me taking care of my guinea pigs, and I have some gerbil videos and some cat and dog videos. And then over time, I realized that when I shared my fish keeping adventures as more of like a kind of a beginner at the beginning, and as I learned along the way, I noticed that everyone kind of enjoyed following me along on my journey. So now I have an entire fish room office. I breed bettas and some nano cichlids. Now I'm growing plants for my garden, so that's why there's like weird things down there. That's my little baby plants. And I just kind of share my adventures of fish keeping and try to research as much and answer questions, and hopefully play a little small part in making the hobby a little better for everyone.
So that's right. She does a very good job at it, especially with the bettas. You know anything about bettas, her and Amber, which Amber's actually in chat. It's good to see you, Amber. So good to see you. I guess you don't get emails anymore, or I don't have the same phone number, but girl, you got to hook me back up. Poetic Song, good morning, says she loves guinea pigs.
I really want to get guinea pigs again, but I'm kind of holding back because I feel like with my apartment, like I have to be really lucky that they okay with the fish I have. So I keep telling myself, as long as I keep it reasonable and don't have too many animals and too many fish, like if they ever have a problem, I'm gonna be like, well, it's all in one room and there's nothing else in the other rooms, and it's all like organized and to the best of the ability. Like I keep it sane, like, because it looks crazy, right? If you're not a fish keeper, fish keepers are like, yeah, no biggie. Like when other people came in here, they're always like, oh, you can put more, you can put another rack, you can put up some more tanks, like there's space, you can do more. But other people are like, whoa,
why do you have so many fish?
Yeah.
What? And then they're like, usually I get the comment that they'll either call it like SeaWorld or like the Shed Aquarium. They'll be like, oh, wow, welcome. So I'll do the whole like, welcome to Jurassic Park. Look at all my fish.
Wow. Yes, I definitely, we had the cable guy come by and he's seen just the ones in the living room. It was like, oh, this ain't nothing. Make the corner.
It's like, oh, you want to be impressed? Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. You want to be impressed? You want to see some fish, right? You get all weird. Trying to say this one. Yeah.
When you get all weird, that's how you know you're a fish nerd.
Yeah. I think now that the big plant hobby is exploding on YouTube with the plant care, and a lot of people are keeping like a ton of plants in their house, and that's becoming kind of normal. I feel like that's going to help us a little bit.
There you go.
We're going to be like, but they do that. We just have fish. They have plants. We have plants and fish, some of us too.
Yeah.
Like, yes. We're not crazy.
No,
we're just really passionate hobbyists. That's all.
People freak out. First question is your electricity bill expensive?
Yes, that's why I heat my whole fish room, and like you'll see me like kind of like fanning myself and dying a little bit every now and then because I'm getting excited to talk. So I'm getting like warm, and then it's already warm in here. The first year I was here, I thought, oh, I'll put heaters in all the tanks, and I'll just heat the tanks and like keep the fish room at a normal temperature. Oh man, my electric bill It's not very good. So now like I have a heater in here, luckily. That's like part of like the unit has 2 heaters. So luckily one is here, the other one is in the other room. And heating the entire fish room plus keeping some heaters on the lower tanks really helps. Like my bill is still like way higher than it should have been for an apartment.
Right.
But you know, that's the price I pay for, you know, taking care of all my fishies.
Now, are you on the high up apartment or bottom apartment?
So this apartment goes up to 6 floors and I'm on the 5th floor. So I'm almost at the top. Oh, and the sunlight's coming in. So now the clouds are moving. So everything's gonna be like, oh, glowing. I'm just like trying to hide in the corner. That's why I don't usually like film in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm on the east side and then the sun comes blaring in the morning. So morning is usually like my admin like work time where I'll like come out of bed, sleepy, disheveled. I'll just like come here and I'll be like, I'll be like, okay, time to work, all the boring things. And it's like later when the sun moves a little bit, I get really nice light. And that's when I'll be like, let me prep and film and
there you go.
squeeze in all the things beforehand. So I'll try to be like hiding.
I'm not sure if you have seen us do this before, but we got a 99-cent super sticker. And for anybody that does a super sticker, we play this little bit.
That was hilarious. Was the first clip I was thinking to myself, I was like, was that you? Is that you like twerking? Really? I love that.
It is, and it's not a long story, but it wasn't intentional. Like I didn't do it for this little clip. We were on a late night stream and I was doing cleaning my tanks back here in the back, and I didn't realize that my butt was in the view of the camera the whole time. And so when it was mentioned that hey Jess, you know you might want to get a different angle there, and then I kind of had to make a funny of it when it was brought up to light. So then I did that. So and then I made it a little meme thing.
I love it. That's a lot of fun. Like sometimes when I do water changes, and this is something like I've never filmed or like shown to the world, but when I'm doing water changes, I'll put music on in my fish room and I'll be like with my python, I'll be like dancing around, like doing my water changes.
Heck yeah.
I'm always very professional during all my water changes.
Oh.
Says the drummer. You probably
you never just have the urge to just twerk a little bit. Just
No, but I do run around, jumping around, going, I love shrimp. But I don't tell anybody. Oh,
don't tell nobody. That's just that's the great B-roll.
There needs to be like a shrimp song, like a shrimp dance with like the little claws.
Oh,
like the grabby claws.
Well, I got video of Rob from Flip Aquatics and Joe from Joe's Shrimp Shack doing that while they were dressed up in their shrimp outfit.
The shrimp.
Oh, was that for Halloween?
Yeah, for Aquaella Dallas.
For Aquaella Dallas.
And they're both doing this little thing, so I should do something with that.
Yeah. Yes, you should.
We'll just have you added to the clip of the dancing, just with the shrimpies.
Yes.
Welcome, Dr. Anthony.
Hello.
Hello. I'm trying to turn my sound off on the other. Good morning.
Good morning. What is that show that says "Good morning"? Oh, what is it?
Vietnam.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Ah.
To me, that's what it was.
We're old.
Hey. Wait, what did
we all forgot. It's that moment where we just be quiet.
Yeah, I surprised you all. So
you did.
Yeah, you threw it all off.
No, Joe had said something. He said we do crazy things on lives, even at shows. That's what I was looking for. I had read that he had said that. I think that needs to be turned into something where you and Rob are doing the shrimp dance. I think that was cute as all get out.
The shrimp dance.
Yeah, the shrimp dance. I usually listen to live streams from all you fish peeps while I do water changes. Don't think I ever shaken my booty though. Like I said, it was a kind of had to be there to understand the whole scenario thing. I wasn't just shaking my butt for no reason.
Hey man, when you spend as much time as we do in the fish room doing just mundane things, but it's mundane to other people. To us, it's like normal. It's habitual. Our water change, the way we clean our tanks, the way we scape them or trim plants or whatever we're doing, that's like, I don't know, we're in a different mindset. So you got to do those things. You got to keep it fun. So you're not just I'm doing water changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it was one of those late nights, like late. It was, I don't even remember who we were after, but Skipper.
Lack of sleep goofiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Delirious. Yeah. Delirious. Yeah. And it was at the end of the stream. And I think it was at the end of the stream. But anyway, I had the whole time I had gone cleaning the tanks, bending up, squatting down, bending up, squatting down. And it just happened. But
you gotta tell people it's your exercise. You know, it's how you stay
right.
fit in the fish room.
That's right.
Yes, there you go.
Rock Hard Tanks. Good morning. Welcome. Melvin Dreep. Good morning. Miss Mary Page Flynn. Good morning. Let's see. Of course, Joe Shrimp Shack, our wonderful sponsor.
Pew, pew, pew.
All right.
Hop in, work, and leave. I like that.
That's right. Hop in, twerk, and leave.
This could be a fun like drive hangout if anyone's driving to work, depending on the time zone they're in.
Yep. So Kasha, the thing that I feel that there's two things that I feel that you are most known for in the fish fam. One is breeding and knowing about bettas. Two are your dividers.
Oh, that's more so like Sheila's thing, and I'm really lucky to have been able to like kind of blow it up for her because it's one of the examples of when a hobbyist, like, because hobbyists, we kind of know, like, we test stuff. We know, like, what we struggle with. We know what everyone else is, because we're talking to other people all the time. We're always helping beginners because beginners will come. So I feel like we have, like, an okay idea of, like, what's needed in the hobby. And Sheila, like, knew the need. She created the product that was really good. She went through super thorough testing with multiple people. Like she reached out to other people to make sure that it works really well, that the dimensions of the tanks work properly. So she would have me measuring my tanks just to check, like, are the Aquarium tanks like all the same size, or is there like a little bit of, half an inch or a millimeter, to make sure everything is snug, because you want it to be snug so it doesn't fall off and your barrier doesn't move and then your betta can't get to the other side and then hurt the other betta. So it's one of those examples of she did a really an amazing job. And I feel like now, like, her dividers are the go-to dividers that everyone else is using. And like other companies have tried to copy her right now and they haven't done a very good job. And I just love promoting her because she did something really high quality and awesome.
Yeah. Did she get it patented, or was it not something that was able to be?
I'm not sure. I forgot. I feel like she could have mentioned that or not. But I do know that like she's doing really well, like producing them right now for a lot of people. And I think
I know they're on Amazon.
Yeah, that's just a whole like really awesome thing. And I hope that like more like fish tubers can come up with things of their own, because I feel like that's the perfect people to create things to better the hobby for the rest of the hobby. Yes. And I'm hoping like more of that happens. Or at the very least, I hope that like now that a lot of us are really talking to the brands directly, we hope that we can help influence better changes, like, changes to products, because we test things. We know like, which things don't work. Like the thing that pops in my mind first is all the little nano tanks always have that outtake that's really like blowing your fish around, and everyone has to always modify it. Yes. And I really hope, and I keep mentioning it on my little reviews, I'm like, I hope that in the future you get two options where you have that normal one that comes in, but you have another one that's like a sponge that's already buffered that should come included in the kit. So when you have a betta, you don't have to DIY it and worry about it. It's like little changes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that I do for my shrimp tanks. I modify them for the shrimp, like either take out some of the impellers on the fins so it's not as strong of a flow, or I just use a airline and turn it into an air bubbler.
I never thought about taking propellers off, and that would slow down the flow. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I just did it for the 6 flex tanks at the shop at Veterans. I went and did that to all of the pumps before I reset the tanks.
Wow.
And today he was telling me I don't like the fact that they take up 2 plugs each. And I told him I can retrofit them or modify them so that way we use air instead of electricity on those pumps.
Yeah.
You can turn it into a sponge filter by putting air through the lift tube, and then it creates the sponge filter through the back of the sponges that are already in there.
It's a very good point. And then with little tanks, you always have a lot of cables because you have like the filter, the light, and then the heater. That's 3 cables coming out of a little tiny tank.
Yeah.
I know one of the tanks, one of the all-included tanks, came with one cord that had the light, and the pump it had 2 cords that came out of the tank, but then they went into those push-on things, but it was only one plug-in, which was a good thing. But when the pump went out, I got one side of this thing that didn't worth anything.
There's definitely pros and cons. It's tricky. It's not a simple solution, but
and they end up throwing a sponge filter in it anyway.
I mean, I love the nano tanks and all-in-one stuff that they're doing, but it really, in reality, you do have to modify them for the smaller shrimps and smaller nano fish, and you don't want them blown around by that pump. For a little bitty pump, it's surprising how much water flow comes out of that. And then, like Kasha said, they don't give you a sponge on the outtake or something to diffuse the flow, so it's not just.
Yeah, you don't want your fish just be like, wee, like just going around. I'm sure they don't enjoy it unless it's like fish that come from like really strong rivers. Then they'll be like, yeah, this is great.
Has anybody else experienced when like guppies don't normally come from like high flow areas, right? I'm pretty sure they don't. But when you do a water change, if you just use a like this, because it's a small tank and you're pouring the water in, or even if you're using the Python, you pouring the water in, them suckers are gonna swim to the flow and go woo, 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 as they get into it on purpose. And I just don't understand that. They're
just like the mothership, we're going.
Yes. And they'll follow it. If you move it around the tank, they're following it. They want it to be in that flow or the cooler water, or there's something about it. But I was just like, everybody's like, they don't like that kind of flow. I'm like, well, I can prove to you right here they like something.
I think they just like the fresh water and,
maybe
the temperature change. Who knows?
Think about what comes in with water.
Oxygen.
Besides that, how about little insects and things get stirred up?
Oh,
that's true.
In the flow?
Yeah.
In natural, in the natural.
Like in the wild.
Yeah, they're stream dwelling fishes normally. They're not pond fishes, they're stream dwelling fishes. So when that water gets stirred up, it stirs up all the, stuff on the bottom and maybe stuff flowing in from the land, and they're, going after insects and things.
But wouldn't they go toward the bottom or even the top instead of to the flow?
Well, maybe they're mini salmon. They want to go up river.
That's what it's
Guppies are interesting fish. Like they're the only fish that I'll like put a fish net in, and they'll willingly swim into the fish net. And I'm like, why? I'm not even trying to catch you. It's not your day. Why? No, please, no.
Yeah. Jay, I experienced the same thing. He said, I personally definitely think certain guppies enjoy more flow than others. I agree. But
It's
I
like
feel
when you
like
find the
that's
bristlenose.
story. Like this deep down inside, they believe.
When you find
it means
bristlenose
it's
going
raining.
inside your sponge filters, it's because they like that flow of the water, so they get down into little tubes sometimes. It's funny to you can take your sponge filter and plecos come out.
Yep.
I wonder if there would be a bigger opening if they would spawn in there, since they're already busy like trying to oxygenate their caves. Like, would they actually want to spawn? Like, would their
That's an
eggs still stick if it
interesting
wasn't too
concept.
like strong of a flow rate? Because you can't blow them out because if
Right.
it's too strong. But I wonder.
That's interesting because that's the same technology, I guess, in a tumbler.
Right.
is
Yeah,
that,
true.
You know,
Someone
Fish
needs to try it out. See,
Right.
fish keepers coming up with like weird fish things that we need to test.
That's
light
right.
bulb.
Fishy Mom 64. Good morning, Alex. Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. Good morning. Jay Oliver. Good morning. Anthony's Fishy Friends. See, the West Coast is waking up.
Yep.
Oh,
Some of us are already at work.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's only what?
7:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you at work at 7? What, you got an 8 o'clock school?
Yeah,
class?
my class starts at 8.
Oh.
mm.
Alex, you never went to bed. Well, I understand.
I'm skipping work to be here.
Uh-oh.
You are. Yes, he is.
Oh, jeez. That's
Fire
my
alarm.
Hopefully that will go off. Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
They've been
You gotta go-
testing
you gotta go
stuff in the
fan it.
building. It should stop because what they've been doing is they realize there's something because their building's really old and they're missing something with the fire system. So this whole week, I think last week was a whole week of fire alarms constantly going off. They at least they sent us emails and they were like, "Be aware that this day," but it was like forever and it was hard to film because I was like, I'd be filming and it would just start going off.
Yeah.
And stop, and I'm like, no.
That was my best take.
Yeah.
If anyone was not feeling awake, they're going to be feeling awake now because it just sure got me.
Dragon Lair. Good morning. He says there are species of cories who love to spawn in sponge filter tubes.
Ah,
Maybe that's where mine are laying their eggs. I need to look at that because I don't know they ain't doing it nowhere else.
so you're just having magical babies just appearing, and you're like, I don't know how this is happening.
Not even that. No, these are some. They're just not doing anything. I don't know what's going on with them. I ain't figured them out.
That always happens. Like you want to breed something and it's working for someone else, and you're like, I set it up the same way, and then you do it, and you're like, nope, nothing.
Yeah. Dude,
See, that's an
cold
idea.
water changes. Lower
We should do
the
pleco caves with an air hose going in one end, so that way it's got constant flow. Maybe that would help.
Oh,
maybe.
I wonder if you could put a sponge in the back so it becomes this all-in-one, like a sponge filter. I don't know how that would work. I sometimes get ideas in my head and then I think about it. And I'm like, I don't. It sounded great at the beginning. Now the more I think about it,
Miss Susie Q says that she spent most of the stream pulling her coolie loaches out of all of her all-in-one tanks. Oh,
that's quite a challenge.
No kidding.
Yeah, I could imagine because the little vents they put between the front of the tank and the back of the tank are usually so big that you do have to modify. If you've got any kind of creature that likes to get in little crevices, they'll get in those crevices. Now, luckily, most of the times there's nothing for them to get caught in. They just stay in the back compartment because they can't get through the sponges and everything. But and I've done that with my shrimp where I have to go fish out shrimp from the back and put them in the front of the tank. So that's why I modify them. I put as much filter floss in the vents covers that I have, whatever I can, and on the top one as well if they have one on top because they'll go over.
Or through.
I wish the companies, like Kasha said, I wish the companies would be more open to trying some of these things. maybe reaching out to some of the shrimpers and the nano fish people, and just trying to find.
Can you imagine a baby, one of the baby clown killies? They'd go swim right through that with no problem.
Oh yeah,
Like
those things are so tiny, and I have to use a regular tank that has no vents or anything like that, because those babies are so small they will get in the back.
Yep.
The Aquatop tank that I just put out a review on yesterday, they have like that filter that's inside that is an internal filter, but luckily they have these little guards that pop on with a sponge. So you can cover the intake from both sides, and they both pop on. Now the sponge is a little like porous, so the holes are still kind of bigger. So I can imagine baby shrimp might still get through, but I feel like this is a good first step. I'm like, that's nice, because at least they'll keep your adult shrimp out.
Yeah, I had talked to Aquatop in Dallas, Aquaella, because I saw some of their new nano tanks, and I had told them about the modifications that I do. And then they even have the matte and filter style in the corner one that they were showing off. I think it's like a 3-gallon or 1.5 gallon tank. And I told them, I said, if that pump is too strong, have you ever considered making a lift tube so that way you could put an air hose on it? And they just looked at me kind of funny. I said, I do it all the time to avoid the pumps. And especially in a small box, you don't need that much flow. Yeah. And they were like, that's interesting. And I was like, hoping, maybe they'd take my idea and run with it. But that's the kind of things, like you said, that hopefully we're the end users in a way. So if we've got these suggestions, they should take a listen and maybe look into it, because then I think they could really get a niche, like say this is a certified shrimp tank. It's got all the mods you need, or here's accessories to add to your tank if you want to modify it for shrimp, or you want to modify it for fry, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, for now, even if it's too difficult for them to implement the changes with the tanks they're already selling, they can at least allow people to purchase modifications for now until it becomes like included in the kit in the future. And just to have these options would be so cool, because not everyone is super crafty or knows even how to DIY stuff, or like realizes there's a problem. Like most people would just set up their little tank with the high flow and just assume that it's fine. And they're like, betta's being pushed around, and they're like, well, I guess this is how it's supposed to be. And if you don't know, you don't know.
And then sometimes you spend the money, and the last thing you want to do is spend money and then mess it all up by doing a modification. So yeah. I've just done it because by necessity, and I spent the money already. So if it doesn't work, then the tank doesn't work for what I need anyways. So
sorry, you guys, that was really weird. I don't know what it was.
That's okay. Dr. Anthony's over there on mute, just staring at us.
I forgot I muted myself.
I did it at the beginning of the show. I'm sitting there just talking. And have you seen some of the new top fin tanks? They take info from us users.
Ooh, I haven't checked that out yet.
Motor Studio Aquatics, good morning. Good to see you.
What's up, Brian?
Kasha, what?
Oh, exclusive. Okay, never mind. That was
where did you grow up?
In Poland, actually, in a small little town called Jasło. I think the population is like over there. I don't remember, like 10,000 or something. It's right at the bottom. In a very scary way, it's kind of somewhat close to Ukraine. So both my grandmas are there. And then, so they're like, I think it's like about 2-ish hours from Ukraine. So we're hoping that none of the like war that's happening spills over, even though like I'm already worried for all the people in Ukraine. But on top of that, I'm hoping my grandmas will be both okay, because they're kind of close.
Are they getting a bunch of refugees from Ukraine to Poland?
Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of people coming in. The cool thing is that Polish language and the Ukrainian language, there's some words that overlap a little bit.
Mhm.
So they can both talk to each other and kind of understand each other if they don't speak each other's language.
Right.
Not entirely, but like you could figure it out, which I think is kind of nice. So it makes it a little easier. And our cultures, while they have some differences, there's a lot of similarities. So I'm hoping that any of the refugees that are there like would feel like comfortable enough that the changes are not that drastic for them, because I know that it can be a lot of culture shock to go from a different country. For me, when I came to America from like a little town that only had like little tiny mom and pop stores, like when I saw Toys R Us for the first time, like my mind was blown. Or like at the airport, escalators and opening doors, like doors that open by themselves. I was like, what? Wow, America. The doors open. You could stand on the stairs. You don't have to go up. Like everything's so cool. And then my dad took me to Toys R Us and like my mind was blown, because I was used to like little tiny mom and pop stores that had like a little tiny section of some toys. That's like what you would have. And then to come here and then you have like a whole store like just dedicated to toys. Like my little mind was like
Caged Aquatics, good morning. Crystals, Pets, and Plants, good morning. Peplin, good morning, you guys.
so
Welcome.
many people joining. And I'm
That's
looking
right.
over. I have the other monitor here and I see like the live on top of the thing, and I see there's like 51 people. I'm like, ooh, this is a lot.
Yes. They have come to see Miss Kasha.
I feel fancy.
So bettas.
Mm.
How did you pick betta? How did you come into? How did the betta become your favorite fish to get, breed? How did you first get your first betta love? Where did that come from?
It started out a little sad at the beginning, because it started out through guilt of messing up taking care of my first betta, because I was very young. I don't remember. I think it was like in middle school. I had the bowl and the betta, and then I had a pleco in there in the bowl with a betta. So that's already, you can see the story's going downhill. And then I went to summer camp and everyone forgot about the bowl with the betta and the pleco. And then when I came back, they passed away. And I felt really bad because I failed these fish, and that I didn't take care of them well enough. So after that, I started getting interested in keeping like larger aquariums and learning more. And then I noticed that at the time when I started out YouTube, there was not a lot of people talking about bettas. Nowadays, like there's so many fish tubers and everyone's covering. Oh, I just booped my mic. Everyone's covering a variety of different topics now, but before that there wasn't. So I focused more on bettas because I felt like I was kind of filling a niche that was somewhat empty a little bit. And at the time, people were also not keeping bettas in community tanks. That was still a big no-no. Like it was like you keep a betta either in a bowl, or maybe if it's really lucky, you put it in its own tank, and that was it. Like at the time. And I remember I had a lot of pushback from my community betta tanks, because I took it a step further and I kept mine with guppies, which was like a big no-no, but they did well. Like I always got the long finned that were always like they wouldn't be bothered to try to chase the guppies. So like my fins are long, it's tiresome.
Right.
So I just kind of started with that. And then every year I always try to like dive in a little more and learn a little more. And that's how I ended up trying breeding for the first time, which was a little scary to be as a beginner, to be like, okay, I'm going to do this for the first time. And I'm going to show it to a ton of people I've never met. So if I fail, the whole internet gets to see me fail.
Right.
But it worked out okay. And then the issues I had are issues that, other people might stumble upon. So in a way, I think that was kind of helpful. And now I'm just going deeper into betta. So I've been trying to focus on more specific topics that I'm hoping like maybe weren't covered yet, so that there could be more information. Because I like sitting there and digging through it, reading books and researching, reading papers. And then I'm hopefully going to get more into sharing some of my nanofish as well, so that it's not going to be just bettas. It's going to more focus on other species and introducing other people to other species, because I really want them to try like different types and see like what will work for them. Because for a lot of people, especially if you don't have softer water, bettas don't do a whole well, especially in hard water, like Chicago water, amazing for cichlids. All my cichlids are like, this is the best. You don't have to do anything. Just like heat my water and feed me, and I'm just gonna like be happy. But with the bettas, especially in my water, they don't do as well. So that's why I want to encourage people that, for example, are locally in the Chicagoland area to maybe try cichlids and fish that do really well in our water. So it's a little easier for them, even though it's tempting to maybe go for a betta since they're so common and popular. I want people to be like, what fish would do well in my water? Because it's a question we don't see very often.
Right. They get the fish and they're like, oh, crud. Well, what do I do now? We got a $3 super sticker from Fantastic Freaks. Well, here you go, and thank you, sir.
This is so fun every time.
No. I hope it will eventually get old and I'll have to come up with something else, but I just think it just works right now. So I think it was cute.
Every time like the camera turns off, I'm over here like, yeah. Having my
Exactly.
We all do. Even Dr.
Yeah.
Anthony. Was
I
like
do.
that.
I
love that.
I do my, my
That's
sad
right.
hands.
Oh.
Science Gal Aquatic. Good morning, Carrie. Well, you guys, we are almost to the midpoint hour mark. So we're going to give some thanks to our sponsor, which is Joe from Joe's Shrimp Shack.
Yay.
Thank you, Joe, for everything that you do for us. And now we're going to hear a little bit of Stephen P. 2003, Aquatics, and the Rainbow Song, Painted Rainbow.
get the B-roll. Yeah, my 90's almost stocked up. Gonna get another type of rainbow in a little while. He's got my money declining. Yeah, it's always so exciting to do another unboxing. Then I got him over to the tank and better lighting. Cause I gotta get the B-roll.
It's raining, falling. I'm trying to focus.
I gotta get the B-roll.
Time for a close-up and slow-mo.
I gotta get the B-roll.
It's raining, falling. I'm trying to focus.
Gotta get the B-roll.
Time for a close-up and slow-mo.
Cause I gotta get the B-roll.
It's raining and flowing. I'm trying to focus.
Gotta get the B-roll.
Time for a close-up and slow-mo.
I gotta get the B-roll.
It's raining and flowing. I'm trying to focus.
Gotta get the B-roll.
It's raining and time for a close-up and slow-mo.
I gotta get the B-roll.
And there we go. Thank you very much, Stephen. So, have you heard those songs before?
No, because I'm living in a hole right now. Away from fishy, which is why hanging out on live stream is like a cool way for me to get involved in the part of the community that oftentimes I struggle to get involved with because I'm a little bit of an introvert. So this is my moment to be oh, this is what cool stuff you guys are up to.
Yes. And you can, the morning show, we've always done it and I've always said it, I do it for everybody else. So we play Fish Fam songs and then the second half of the hour, we still talk about our guests and stuff, but we also will show the next live streams for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And since I do a members only stream on Wednesdays, at least once a month right now during the summer months. But if I'm not streaming on Wednesday, then we also play Wednesday's live streams. So we play the live streams for the next day that we know of that are coming up, throughout the Fish Fam. And then, if anybody else has got an event or anything like that, we, news, we try to get, everything that we know about the Fish Fam that's positive, out there and to help spread the word to everybody else about everybody. And so that's one of the goals of the morning show. So,
you truly are the morning news show for all the fish people to hang out with. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Trying real hard.
It's got so many things. I was every time I just get impressed by something new that pops up. I'm oh,
sweet. And so I guess the only thing that I ask is for if anybody does any live streams or anything like that, just mention, the morning show, because, we get roughly about 50 something people in here in the mornings, which is good because it's the morning, so, but there's so many more people out there that just don't know that there's a place that they can come that is something that they're interested in, but can get them linked to other fish tubers out there as well that they may want to watch tonight,
True.
So
I should actually share my community tab right now before I forget. I'm going to do it right as you say it.
Awesome. Kasha Aquatics. It's Keith Hanshaw. Okay. All right. He says July 7th through the 10th is the International Betta Conference in Tulsa, Oklahoma. See, we need to have that.
I didn't even know that.
Of the events. So I will write that down right now so I can get Skipper to put that in the events. We'll find it and get that pulled up. Whips World. Good morning. He said 7th through the 10th, July 7th through the 10th is the International Betta Conference. Yeah. So is it a show too, or just a conference?
I wonder because I used to be part of the IBC.
Yeah.
And then last year, I just forgot to renew my membership, and I sort of just forgot to like see what they're up to. And I think they changed who's running it. Like they had elections, so things maybe they're planning new things. So I'm finding out. So I'm like, yay! Now I know.
There you go. Oink Master Supreme forever. Good morning, Oinky. Got to meet her at Aquaella as well.
Woo,
So
fun.
Jay Oliver says my watch hours are finally starting to grow some since I've started the new fish room rebuild series. Look, if you're building a fish room, for whatever reason, people love it. Love watching you build a new fish room, and your subs, your everything go up.
It doesn't get old.
No.
You can always learn something by watching somebody else do something, or go, ooh, I that's a good idea. I'm going to incorporate in my next build or whatever. So
Yeah.
those are good videos.
Like mine. I'm like kind of understand kind of what I want to do, but to bring it to fruition, I'm going to have help. And of course, Greg is going to be one of them. And then I've got my husband and then John. But with all three of them, I'm going to have to get here at one time and walk through and say, okay, this is what I want. Now you make it happen.
It's really fun. I wonder if it's about like the fact that it's usually like a mini series, and it's easier for new people to follow along like the progress. Because I always, for my channel, I always ask myself the question: how for every video, let's assume that random people have never watched me. Maybe they've never even had a fish. If they stumble upon my video, will my video make sense to them and give them reason to want to check out other videos? Like kind of like how fish room builds do, because fish room builds make sense because a lot of people maybe have seen like on IGTV or somewhere else, like people renovating or like house flipping shows. It's kind of like that, maybe like where it's familiar.
Oh yeah, it's like the house building shows, and it's like a whole channel.
Yeah, so it makes, I think it's easier for non-fish people to be like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
I can get into it without understanding fish, because I think oftentimes when we make a video about fish, we get like really nerdy and excited, and like other fish nerds will totally be like, yeah, I'm excited too, I understand it, but like beginners or people not in the hobby are like, I don't understand what is happening. These are big words.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's why I try to keep it shrimple and
shrimple.
relate to the people that don't really know, because as far as the experts go, well, they're experts for a reason. And so what I have to say isn't really for them. It's more for how do I make it simple enough, fun enough, and easy enough for people to go, hey, I want to try that, without being scared away by big words and all these parameters and you got to do this and that, blobbity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's like ton of betta experts out there. And like for me, I think I want to speak to just the beginners or the people that are coming in the hobby, or people that are like in the hobby but like want to learn a couple new things or just like to vicariously watch. But there's already a lot of I know that sometimes people will call me like the betta expert because of my channel, but I don't think like I've done anything to like earn it at all yet. Like there's so much about bettas that I don't know, and I'm learning every day, and it's like I'm working up there. Like maybe one day like
you and Amber are definitely the top two that I learned from. So yeah, you were both y'all are both up there when it comes to bettas.
But I think of people like you from, for example, Betta Territory. He's an amazing betta breeder, and his videos, like when it comes to genetics and how he breeds his betta, like he really knows his stuff. And he's even commented on some of my videos in the past and corrected very, very kindly, because he's always super nice, but he'll correct things where even if I make a mistake, and I really, really appreciate it, because like you don't know what you don't know, so I love it when people can point something out for me.
Right.
So, we're getting rainbows now because I have a rainbow in my head. Because I have little rainbow lights. Let me boop it because if I boop them, they'll spin and then we'll have rainbows.
Whatever you want to do.
Now get the music rolling.
Right.
There. It's gonna be rainbows. They're just gone. So I'm not a morning person at all. So I'm a night owl. Like I do best doing stuff at night, but I tried not to because I tried to have a normal schedule, like normal people. So to make mornings easier for me, I put a lot of cute stuff. Like I'll put the stuff that makes rainbows and everything to try to make me like mornings.
Yeah, sure.
Because in the morning I just wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? How do you life?
No, I totally get it. When I started the morning show, it was so hard to get up and do them because I didn't get up for noon. I mean, I didn't have to, so I didn't.
Oh.
And then I was up all night, and I like being up at night.
Yeah, same.
I just do. I think the reason is because it's usually so busy in my household. Everybody needs something from mama. You know, it's just like, nah. But at night, it's quiet. I can run through here. I can get my stuff done. I'm not being asked, why am I doing this? You know, nothing. It's just my time. I can, do my thing. But it was hard to do the morning show. And then for a while, I get up, I do the morning show, and I go right back to sleep.
Oh.
But I got it now. I just don't sleep.
You came all like really put together. You look so nice. I just literally I'm wearing my PJ pants. I just swapped a shirt. I was like, let me put on not my PJ shirt. Let me put on a bra, like brush my hair, brush my teeth, and then like walk over here. That's all I did. I didn't even do like my makeup or anything.
Hey.
And I'm like all sleepy a little bit, but
that's fine. It's the morning show. I know, but
it's
like I produce it, so I better look like I produce it. So
you do. You look fancy.
Good deal.
And then I thought because you have the same color top that matches your bottoms from the dancing video, I thought that was like you just went over there and just changed camera angle and started dancing. And I was like, wow, she really has energy in the morning. Like, look at her go.
Yeah. What do I have in my coffee?
Right.
I don't know. It says strong coffee on it.
Yeah, right. Alex is asking, hey, Kasha, I was curious when you started your channel. And also, if you don't mind, I'd love to know the gender ratio of viewers. Mine is 74% male.
I could look it up right now. Let's go my analytics.
That's always interesting.
When I started my channel, like I didn't have like filming equipment or anything because at the time, like YouTube was not even like a thing. It was starting out. And I remember I couldn't really like justify asking my parents, for filming stuff. So I had a little camera that me and my dad shared because my dad's really into photography. And he has this huge zoom lens, which I actually have over there for bird photography. And I used to actually film my fish with the huge telephoto photography lens for birds from across the room because I didn't have a lens that would give you the nice, like, blurry background, but that lens did. So I was like in the corner, like, put my feet up and I had my zoom lens and I was like filming with the thing. I can actually show you. It's right here. Oh, there it is. So I used to film with this. This is my old telephoto lens that I used to film with, and then I didn't have a microphone to do voiceovers, but I had a little webcam, one that was worse than this one. So I would take my webcam and I would hold it right here, and I would just record a video and just delete the video and keep the audio, and I would use the audio for my voiceovers. So that's why, like, if you go to my very first videos, the audio is so weird because I'm literally like holding a webcam. And you're like, "Hi guys, look," and I'm all nervous. Welcome back, Creative Pet Keeping. I'm going to show you a thing. But let's go to my analytics right now, and I'll tell you the ratio. I think
Freshwater Ichthyology says the hobby in general seems to have more male majority, excluding some specific communities like goldfish, betta, and maybe discus seem to have a little more women. Okay. Yeah, but most of our analytics, including women, are still more male dominated.
Yeah, so for me right now, I have 39.5% female and 60.5% 0.4% male in my
Yeah.
audience. So I have a little bit more, which I'm hoping that like by being a lady, I make other ladies like, I'm like,
Right.
welcome, join me. We exist. We're here. There's few of us, but there's more and more. I'm seeing more and more women like
There are.
pop up in the hobby, and like I feel like they're there.
Yeah.
They just don't have a social media presence yet because
Well,
like
I
They're
feel like
lurking.
they don't feel like they have anything to bring to the table if they videoed. Like, or like even Berkeley Bell as example, she's been lurking forever. And when we got to talk to her at Aquafest, we were like, why aren't you chatting? Why aren't you, talking with us? And she was just shy about it. I'm like, oh no, girl, come on. Me and Joe were on her, about, and now she's been on stream and on panels and everything. She's really bloomed. But I think that's another good thing about the Aquashellas and all the events that do go on is if you can talk to other people, not just the fish fan, but other people that meet you that, they may watch you, but they may chat, they may not, but if we can try to bring it out of them, the more we'll get in to participate, I guess, or to do more videos or get into doing videos. But I do think, because I felt that way, I didn't feel like I had anything to bring. I was like, who's going to watch me? It was before the morning show too, but I mean, everybody was more interested in my horses first. And that's what I did first with my horses. And then I created the mainsails, fur, and fins. And then the morning show came after. But I think that's why. That's my reason anyway.
I sometimes feel like women also, we have to try a little extra hard because I've encountered people that like would just look at me like, oh, look at the little ditzy blonde. Like, like I've had people like that knew me in the hobby would explain things to me like I've never owned a fish tank before. And I've had that happen to me a couple times where I find myself like trying extra hard to prove that like I have gained some like knowledge in the hobby. Like I'm not an expert at all, but like I'm also not like a newbie.
Right.
There's a lot of knowledgeable like women in this hobby, along with a lot of knowledgeable men. We all have our place, and sometimes I guess society has to catch up a little bit because some people are very kind, but some people a little less. And hopefully, a lot of us will help pave a way to make it easier for a lot of women to get in to the hobby. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, Alex, come on now, dude. You do your thing. You are amazing at it. Don't change for nothing. You are amazing. Don't forget Simply Betta. Yep. Taylor, she's awesome as well. Yep. Another good Betta.
Yeah, we're actually all gonna, speaking of ladies and fish keeping, I completely forgot. Tomorrow, we're all putting up a little collaboration between me, Taylor, Lisa, and also Joanna. So we're all going to be scaping the same size tank, but in all different ways, and we're making it like a female-only like fish keeping collaboration. So
there you go. That'd be fun to watch.
Yay! So
when
hopefully it'll be fun.
Out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I just don't know like what time, if we're going to be doing it at the same time or if we're going to be uploading.
So is it going to be live or?
No, we're just going to upload the videos. So it'll be like 4 videos. And then the cool thing about it is also there's a competition because we got the tanks that we're scaping from Aquatop. So you'll be able to vote for the tank on the Aquatop Instagram. And I think their Facebook as well. So 2 winners will be able to win a tank. So
sweet.
Yay.
I remember Lisa talking about it. And she was like, don't pick your favorite person, pick your favorite scape.
Yeah, because we're not necessarily like we don't win anything, even though we're doing the competition. We're doing it more for fun, and whoever wins doesn't actually, for us, we don't win anything. We're just doing it for a lot of fun. So we don't want it to be like a by default popular person. We want it to be like, what's your favorite tank? Like no one's gonna get mad or offended. We're just excited to share them, and you guys pick your favorite.
Right. Do you know where you go to vote?
It will be on the Aquatop Instagram as well as their Facebook page.
Okay.
And then we'll have more details in the video. Like I still am editing mine because I'm a little bit of a procrastinator, so I have to finish doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have we're all gonna have all the information in each video, so everyone will be able to know like where to go. But it's kind of fun, and we like to always like give back to the community too. So anytime you can win something, heck yeah, that's awesome.
Right. That's right. Rico says his ratio is 72 male, about 45 to 64 years of age. I mean, I think that's about even. That's about right. It's about 60 to 70% male.
Yeah.
And then the other female. And I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. But,
for age, for me, it's usually 25 to 34-year-olds. That's
really?
That's the age range I seem to be getting.
Which
kind of matches because I'm in my 30s. So I'm like, I guess,
yeah,
people with a similar age want to watch.
I need to go look at mine now.
I've always wondered that because mine is generally 45 to 50 plus, you know. That's usually my audience is the older. I have a very small, younger audience, but it's growing. Wow. My channel grows and I'm starting to hit things right to get more of a broader audience. I think I'm starting to see that change. So
yeah, right. Allison Nicholson, yeah. Rico is fun, always good laughs. Exactly. Rico's amazing. Freshwater Ichthyology says that her ratio is a bit extreme. It's 94% male. I think at one point that was higher. Highest age range is 24 to 34. Wow.
It's so interesting how it's different for every channel.
Yeah.
Yep. Too Cooley for Schooly, Ricky De Hoyas. We had a few people running here. Nola's Dolls and Aquatics. Bex. Good morning, Bex. And
I see a question. The scape is going to be on everyone's channel, so everyone's going to post their own video on their own channel. So I'll have mine on mine. Lisa's going to have hers on Katie Tropicals. Taylor on her Simply Betta channel, and then for Joanna, I don't know if she's going to have it on the Small Scape or Primetime Aquatics or both or one or the other, but it'll be one of those because she's always like on either one.
So Alex does this thing for us for the morning show, and it's fish history and scientific news, which is Fish Story. We're going to do that real quick. And again, Alex, thank you so much for doing this for the morning show.
To our fish. So I thought that was a really cool twist on the story. Something interesting, and I don't know the ins and outs of all of it.
Ending yesterday's, I guess.
But you can look through the info and the studies yourself, and I hope you enjoyed that one. I really like that one myself. So I'll talk to you guys later next time on Fishery. Back to you, Jess. Hey guys, what is going on? It's Alex Williamson again here with Fishery. So we're over 60 episodes now, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. So on Saturday, the Monterey Bay Aquarium unveiled its newest exhibit, which is called Into the Deep, a display of deep sea animals and ecosystems. And it is unlike anything else. There's usually a lot of people at that aquarium. It's a very popular aquarium, along with Atlanta's and Chicago's, New York's. It's one of the best in the country. Seattle has a pretty good one too. Other than, you know, the great kelp forest display and the otters, the enormous open tank that spans 2 stories, and all the other attractions there, it's well known. Well, now they're opening a exhibit of deep sea animals, and they're going to have the cool fish like lanternfish, and basically the curiosity of the deep sea is what inspired this. The deep black abyssal sea, I always say abyssal sea, which is 600 feet plus, where light does not go, all the way down to 6,000 feet, is the biggest surface or area for animals to exist on our entire planet. And deep in the ocean, there is more surface that has been charted on Mars than there has been of our own deep water ecosystems. And so this cool exhibit is going to feature 50 species with more than 200 different animals rotating throughout the next 2 years. And the exhibit is going to be made possible by a series of unique opportunities that the aquarium has, because it's right there on the edge of the Monterey Canyon, which is a deep sea canyon, deeper than the Grand Canyon, where a lot of these species come from. So they're actually going to go out in subs and catch new species and place them in the aquarium, as well as in the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, and study these animals, some of them for the first time. And each of them are going to be 3D modeled and scanned with lasers and 3D printed again. And so you'll be able to walk into the lower level, see the 3D versions of these fish, see any film footage they have of them, and then you'll be able to go see a mid-water gallery where the last sunlight rays reach, and see some of the animals that are in that transitional zone. And this is where seamounts or underwater sea mountains are found. And they're going to have an exhibit that shows what happens when a whale dies and when it falls down to the bottom of the sea, and all the life that comes. If you've seen Planet Earth or Blue Planet, they showed this same scene, and it's incredible the amount of life that comes to a large body falling to the bottom of the sea floor. All those calories are so rare down there when it gets really, really deep, that it's pretty crazy how animals take advantage of that. And when talking about keeping these animals, it's been an extreme challenge, and that's why only Japan has been the only other place or aquarium in the world to keep this deep of creatures in a tank for public viewing. And usually they're just kept as specimens in, formaldehyde or alcohol. The problems with keeping them in a live aquarium is that it's cold, and the water pressure, the pH, the dissolved oxygen, all of that is extremely extreme, if that isn't too redundant. But by paying really close attention to those conditions and keeping animals in pressurized tanks and basically allowing them to avoid the bends from coming up too quickly, they're able to put them into these tanks. And some of them look like translucent strands of jewel beads, and some of them look like normal fish. Some of them look like lanternfish, which you guys have probably seen. And we're going to look at a couple of them in just a second here. But they don't just talk about fish here. They talk about the isopods and gastropods and other creatures that live down there, crustaceans and jellyfish and other things like that. And these animals have, as I said, most of them have never been seen on view in the public, and never alive either, for that matter. And the curator of the place is Beth Redmond Jones, and she is the aquarium's vice president as well. And apparently she said there's going to be a 180-degree surround theater piece as never seen before, with kind of an IMAX of bioluminescent jellyfish, as well as like dives footage into the deep sea diversity that's down there. There's also going to be a little bit of info on how humans have impacted these deep water zones, and how basically plastics and garbage have gotten down there into that ecosystem, and what the repercussions are. And there's even going to be like a video game for kids there, and there's going to be a bunch of different interactive stations for kids too. So if you're ever in the Monterey Bay area near San Francisco, kind of, definitely check that out. That's going to be awesome. So let's look at some of the fish from that really quick before we finish up here, and then we'll move right on. So let's go look at those fishies.
All right, guys. So I wanted to show you this, which is the Monterey Bay Aquarium.org and /visit/exhibits/into-the deep. And you can find it by Googling it, but they have a whole online access to the entire showcase there, which is really cool and might be fun, especially for kids or even teenagers, but students definitely, and all of us fish nerds alike. But they've got it broken down into basically down to the deep, and they've got fish there, and they've got videos on it and information on it on the website. And then they've got the midwater section. Then they have the sea floor, which has a lot more of the little crustaceans and isopods and things like that. And then they've got the abyssal zone, which is the super deep canyons. And what they have on the exhibit all the time, what they're going to be showing, or at least trying to have, are Pacific hagfish, mushroom corals, pom-pom anemones, these interesting tunicates, and then they've got the blood belly comb jelly, which is naturally bioluminescent, bone-eating worms, red sea fan, a giant isopod, the lumpfish, the sea angel, bubblegum coral, feather star, the lobed comb jelly, which again, these are like the lights that move down the edge of them. They look really incredible. And then they've got the snow globe jelly. They've got all sorts of really cool stuff. The red paper lantern jelly looks like a ruby. And then they've got fish, the Japanese armorhead, glowing sea cucumber, fire sea star, Japanese porcupine crab, the elephant fish of the sea, not a mormarid. And then, they've got sablefish, the salmon snailfish. There's a whole bunch of like salmon beach and salmon snail and salmon this fish that aren't actually salmon. But again, then they've got the basket star. And this is the stuff that they have there all the time. And then they're going to have webcams and all sorts of other stuff. So I highly encourage you guys to either visit or at least check it out online. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.
Hey, guys.
All right. That's some cool stuff. Always. Alex always gives us something to think about and talk about. Maybe not on this.
That was actually really exciting.
Yes, definitely. So he does it for us, and then he has it for his members on his stream. So if you want more, go to The Secret Life Living in Your Aquarium. Alex, he's our history and scientific fish nerd.
Have you ever watched like the live streams from the deep sea explorations?
The only one that I've actually every now and then will watch is it Nautilus?
Yeah, that's what me and Daniel watch.
Yeah,
that's so exciting because not only do you have the privilege of being able to see like fish that are really deep underwater, which unless you physically go there, you would never be able to see that, but it's live. So you're seeing like the scientists react to like things either they've not seen in a while or seen for the very first time. Like you can be there for like a very first discovery of a new fish.
Right.
That's so exciting.
So is the Nautilus, is it I never understood, is it a submarine they have down there and then they have the boat on top, or are they in a submarine and they go down there?
They have the boat on top. So they're a whole like research vessel. I don't know too much about them. I just know that their job is to just map out and find different areas. And you want to be able to have the research vessel so you can go on a dive, bring the boat up, refuel it, give the people time to like stretch their legs, do all the stuff, and then prepare for the next one and make any changes. And then they could go on an expedition where they check out like I guess multiple different areas. But that's always so cool. There's many times where me and Daniel would just like, it'll be late at night and we don't know what to watch because we want to watch something, and then we would just like put on Nautilus and we would sit there and be like, oh
yeah, definitely. And then a lot of times there's nothing though. You just sit there and it's just like
that's research. Yeah, I mean, research and discovery is a whole lot of nothing. It's like that for like archaeologists and other people. They're just digging through sand.
It is.
Yeah.
Leo 209 Aquatics, thank you for being here. He's asking, what is your favorite betta food, Kasha, and other ways to get your betta to flare to stay healthy?
Ooh, my favorite food for 100% has always been live food, with like bloodworms being like the second best, because I feel like fish foods are getting better. Companies are trying to improve. They're doing a better job of changing their formulas, but it's still like it's okay, but it's still not there yet. Like it's still not where we're at with live food and frozen thawed foods yet. So those are my favorite go-tos. And then I have a little thing that I use for flaring sometimes, and that is a betta flare stick, which is
Mine
kind of
too.
like a pencil.
Yeah.
I got mine. Oh, so I got mine from Ben's Bettas and MB Bettas.
I got mine from Bad Fish.
Nice, and I love how like they're starting to bring them all in.
Yeah.
And different options for flaring. Although
Yeah.
I have to always have to tell everyone that sometimes some bettas just don't want to flare.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. If your betta does not want to flare, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't feel bad, because I've had people like reach out to me and be like, my betta's not gonna flare. Like, is it okay? I'm worried. And I want to say it's fine, because I've tried when I had to photograph fish and I would put fish against like males or other females, and I'd be like, come on, time to flare. And they'll be like, nope, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna just be like, just either watch you or just swim away and be like, not my problem. Not dealing with this angry fish over there.
I got
And then
both
some
of
bettas,
mine doing it.
some bettas will just flare at everything. Like they'll
Yeah.
flare at their own food.
I've got both of mine flaring in front of me. I forgot I even had this. I get to play with it.
I
But
like
I
that yours is positioned
Two of them.
differently, because mine is
Yeah.
like this way. So it's you
Yeah.
have to hold it
You
this
gotta hold
way,
it
or you have
sideways,
to hold it this way for it to be sideways. So
Yeah.
yours is
straight on.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, mine came from Bad Fish. Of course, she's got all different colors and stuff. The first Orlando Aquaella I went to that she was at for her first time, I got it. And actually, I was just using it on the steel betta that I got from her. But
Nice.
I actually picked up, I had been looking for the antique rose colored
Oh.
bettas, but I couldn't find one that had a nice body to him, that wasn't an arm and a leg, to pay for. And I just happened upon one at my LFS the other day. It was the best looking fish they had, but I finally found one that I liked. And so I got him, but now I got to find a female. Taylor bred some of the antiques. She had some really pretty ones at one time, but I was behind the ball on that one, so I wasn't able to get any of them. But ABC Aquatic Biotope Creations, Jess, can I promote my 500 sub giveaway? Of course. I'm only 47 away from my goal. Well, you guys, if you're not subscribed to ABC Aquatic Biotope Creations, please go make sure that you are, and let's get them over their hump of the 500. That way we can have a giveaway, or they can have a giveaway.
Yeah. Yay. Congrats on being so close.
Giveaways. Yes, everybody loves giveaways.
And it's always really exciting to hit a milestone that you were looking forward
to see somebody else finally get to their milestone or get to the monetization point, which has gotten so hard to do these days.
Has it changed recently?
It just,
I haven't checked in a while.
So I call me and kind of like the group that came in second. Like you're part of we call the OGs. Like you came, you were like the first group of fish family that came in, and then we had the second wave, and I call us the COVID babies. We're the COVID babies of the fish family. And then now the second set that's coming in at the end of the COVID spell or whatever, they're having it's just a lot slower because there's not as many people on anymore because everybody's getting back to their lives, instead of sitting down and only watching YouTube. So it's just a little bit harder than I think it was for us when everybody only had, could only watch YouTube. Or
that's true.
TV. And it was also, the fish were booming because everybody was inside, so they wanted a fish tank and fish. So I think it was a little easier for us than it is for these guys coming in now. But hey, you can always hit that one and go up just like that.
True. Like
Go
things are
viral.
changing. Things are changing so much all the
Yes.
time. Like recently, I just saw like Aquarium Info when she started
Yep.
her channel on YouTube, and then she just blew past
She blew
everyone
up. Yes.
in such a short period of time. And then goes to show that like the platform is constantly changing,
Yeah.
and then you have to like change with it and grow with it. And there's just it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
always very
And
interesting.
you never know what the next thing is going to be. You know,
Yeah.
like I think with hers it's the aquascaping, and it's very like clean, and then the way that she does it, she's really good at it. But to me, it's like it's a very and it's weird to say it like this, but like clean, straight lines, and then she has the really pretty aquascapes, and then she's pretty herself, you know. But I think that's what does it for her, and that's why she went, you know, through the roof. And I think she knows it too. But
I think she caters perfectly to the audience that doesn't have fish or just starting to get in fish,
right?
Because that it's simple enough that anyone, even someone that doesn't have fish, can understand.
Yes.
And I think that's something that, like, if you're starting out with YouTube, it might be easier to try to like cater a little more towards people that are not into fish keeping, because it's very easy to, and I got stuck in this for myself on my own YouTube journey. You get stuck making content for yourself, and also like maybe for people like other fish tubers, because that's who you're mostly talking to for feedback. And it's very easy to forget the viewers, what the viewers want, but also the beginner viewers that might not even be in the hobby just yet. So sometimes it's good to just make those generic videos that are very, very super simple for the beginners to get them into your hobby. And then you can niche out and see like what works.
Yep.
Because if you really go hardcore right away and get very specific and be like, you know, I'm going to talk about my favorite fish and use all the Latin names and get all the nitty gritty, which is exciting for you and exciting for other fish tubers, you're going to lose the beginners.
Right. So my thing is, like, right now I've got the axolotls, and we got them from Miss Susie Q. Several of us did. And there are lots of videos on axolotls on YouTube, but there are none that go from just the egg to like growth. But there's like, there are some that do that, but it doesn't show what you have them in. Like at this stage, what do you got them in? And then at this stage, what do you have them in to the end point of keeping your one, you know, or two, or however many you're going to keep out of that batch. And like, I've got, I thought I had 32. I got 36, 4 more than I thought I had, because I'm having to separate them now. And so when we did the dividers, I had to come up with 4 more ways to put them. And so, you know, what do you do when you have to separate 36 of them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, so I will have a video on that later, but when I get mine fully grown. But me trying to find that info, even from like Frank's axolotls, he does some stuff like that, but he does ever like the juvenile stage. He doesn't show where he puts them at, and you know, stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that, but is that for me or is that for YouTube? And that one I think is a little of both, because nothing's out there to show somebody if they were to breed and keep them and raise them, what you do with that many of them. And that's not really that many compared to as many as they can have. So I think that's one. But I mean, you're definitely onto something. Do you video for you and what you want to kind of like have in your video files, or do you video for the newbies who don't even know how to put water in a tank, you know?
Yeah, because originally what I struggled with, and this is why my channel didn't start growing until now, it took a long time over the like 12 years, is I started making a lot of videos about banana, because I love banana. I want to make dog videos because it's creative pet keeping, not only fish, right?
So your name and my name keep all of our animals in it. And that's what I like.
And those videos didn't they did okay, but they didn't do
Right.
super well. And I remember one time where Joey from King of DIY, he was speaking at our Greater Chicago Cichlid Association Club. And then usually after everyone speaks, we go to a dinner at like a restaurant. So we all went and everyone got to ask him questions. And I
Sure.
asked him about my channel and he told me, he's like, I know you love your dog, but for now, like focus on just fish because you're confused. Your audience comes in, they're not getting a clear message for what they're subscribing for. And people want to subscribe for something specific.
Right.
And he was like, just do it now. And then eventually when you blow up, if you do, like, then you could start incorporating her again in a different way. So I followed his advice. And that's why I started going specifically niching down to fish. And that's helped, I think, my channel grow a lot. And also why I try to stick with a lot of betta content, even though the vast majority of my fish room is focused more on my nano cichlids. And I know that that's something I'm more so interested in than bettas, even though I love bettas. But I know people want betta content. So I want to give people what they want. And that's something that was really hard for me to do because I always thought of YouTube as like my baby. And I never started my channel with any goal because at the time YouTube, you couldn't, like, becoming a YouTuber was not a thing. Like, you just shared your videos online. So it's kind of weird that I had to go through this because now, and I think that's why a lot of YouTubers are successful now when they're starting out because they're like, they start out with the goal of I'm going to be a content creator who creates content for other people and then do it like that versus like I'm just filming my own hobby, which I think all of them are great. There's no like one way that's right or wrong because I still will go through sometimes when I'm researching and watch videos from channels that are, you know, small and not very popular, but have like that really deep, great information that I'm like so grateful is there. And that's why I try to like refer people to other channels as well to help them. So I think, it depends. Everything has a purpose. Like even live streams, like they have a community building aspect that's really important to the hobby as well. Like every part has its important thing and everyone just picks their thing and they stick with it and they become very good. Like I'm not very good with live streams. I will sometimes once in a while pop in unannounced and people are like, she's live streaming. I'll be like, yes, I am.
And a lot of people love live streams. Like I do watch TV, but during the day after my stream, I want to be listening to somebody else in the fish fam. Like, and if there's nobody streaming, I almost find myself in a panic attack. Like nobody's streaming. I got to find somebody that's streaming. What the heck? Nobody's streaming. Yeah. So another reason we do the lineup for anybody else. There's a lot of people like that. Dreamweaver Aquatics, great discussion. Well, thank you. So Kasha, real quick, what other fish do you have other than the bettas? What other the nano cichlids that you have? What do you have?
Ooh, I have the Placidochromis, which you see kind of swimming around. All my lights turn on after 12, so everything is except that one. That one gets to turn on because that's the new Phoenix planted one, and that one does the like 12-hour eases in, and then it eases out. And I really like that because I have no algae problems. So even though this tank is on for 12 hours and everything else is on for like about 6 hours, no algae issues. So that's kind of cool. But I have Placidochromis. I have a lot of Julidochromis and Julies because I really like them. I like how weird they are. They swim upside down and they'll look at you and they'll be like, what you doing? What you doing? I'm upside down. Then I have my Ocellatus, which are my favorite fish of all time because I like how angry they are, how confident they are. They will fight like anybody and everybody. And then I have, right now I'm starting to get a little bit more into some community nanofish. So I have my Ember Tetras. I have Cardinal Tetras, my Blue Tetras, because I haven't had Tetras in a long time. I'm like, I kind of miss it. And I breed my Guppies and Amplecos. And I want to show them more. But I have to figure out a format that makes it so that the hardcore hobbyists will enjoy like a species spotlight, but that beginners that have never owned fish will still enjoy it. And I haven't figured that out yet. So I've been looking at a lot of National Geographic shows for inspiration because they make content that introduces you to a variety of different animals in a way that's like easy to understand for everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn what they're doing. And oftentimes I'll actually look to TV as inspiration. Like, with the Fish Room Building, IGTV with their building shows is a great example of that. You have your, morning show example that it's like kind of like the morning show in the news.
Right.
I think it's good to pick something that like inspires you because they'll give you kind of a format to try to follow. And
like the weirdest thing I had was the saltwater. I had a banded coral shrimp, and it's when I first got my saltwater tank going, and I did a short on him, and that went viral. And I was like, I have one saltwater tank and one banded coral shrimp.
That will happen.
Go viral.
Like sometimes, like people will say that, like to do well on YouTube, you have to do A, B, and C, and then you got to do all these things. But some of it is luck.
Yes, some of it is luck.
So I feel like in some ways I've gotten lucky because I've covered like topics that I didn't know would do well. Like just recently, the video I put out where I'm just like, want to see my aquariums?
Yeah,
that was a video where I just like I wanted to put out a video and I was working on some other videos and I was having issues with them. So I was like, I need to put something out for now because I have these I'm struggling with these videos. It's not working out as I want it to be. So I was like, let me do something simple that I think people will still enjoy.
Right.
And I was not expecting that video to do well at all. And it did. It got like 30,000 views. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Right. Yep. Fish Room Tours did great too. Yep.
I don't know.
I know. I don't think anybody can ever figure it out. You just need to do your thing, have fun with it. And if you don't, then maybe it's not your thing and just hang out and chat. But we still want to see you.
But also if someone has a channel that like never grows and stays small, I feel like that's okay too. Like we shouldn't be judging people based on like how much they've grown or not, because I think everyone has something really valuable that they're bringing in, and maybe like their niche is for like the fish community or the hardcore hobbyists, and they're bringing value to that, and I think that's valuable too. So
sure,
I think just views or subscribers, like they play their role, but they're not the most important thing.
Right. That's right. All right, you guys, we are getting towards the end of the stream, and I've got 2 more things that I need to do. We have the coffee cup sponsor, you guys, which we have a little video from Miss Dee Dee that she does for us. That's the coffee cup sponsor, and you too can be a coffee cup sponsor. There's always room at the table. And we've got to do the lineup for the streams for I gotta find it. Tuesday and Wednesday. Here we go.
And for our Tuesday live streams at Eastern Standard Time, we start off the morning with the Aquatic Morning Show, Maze Tales for Fans at 10. And next up is Afternoon Chat Delight with Rico Stand at 12:15. Following that is Danica Aquatic's members only stream at 4. Mega Sister Rena at 5 p.m. (6:30) is the Focus On interview with Rico Stand. Also at 7, Miss Susan on SLC Aquatics. (7:30) Alex with the Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. Next up is Whizzle and Hippie John the Fisherman at 7:30 p.m. for Whizzle Channel. At 8 o'clock is Aquarium Co-op, Corey. At 9 p.m. Miss Bentley Pasco. And at 9, there's Catfish Terry. At 10 p.m. is Have a Beverage with Dr. Black on Dr. Black 66. 11:30 is Brennan with Misfit Reptiles and Aquatics. And for your Wednesday live streams at Eastern Standard Time, start off with Follow the Fish at 9 a.m. Following is Flip Aquatics at 10. At 11, Joe's Shrimp Shack. At 11 is KG Tropicals members only stream. 12:05 is the members only Mains, Tails, Fur, and Fins. At 1, it's Bird Garden with Rack. At 2, Wednesday Weekly with Jimmy P's Aquariums. At 5, it's Wednesday Hangout with Brienne's Fish Fam. Wednesday at 6, it's Wednesday with Bob and Pam on Keller's Aquatics. At 7, it's Rob 93 in the hot seat. 8 o'clock, it's Keeping It Shrimp with Papa Shrimp. I love shrimp. Next up is Dan's Fish at 9 p.m. And also at 9 p.m. is Primetime Aquatics with Jason and Joanna. Concluding Wednesday night streams with Punchy Paints, Pam and Bob at 11 p.m. And as always, Liquid Zoo. Thanks for making this information easy to find at fishfam.link. And thanks to you, Lefty32138, also for your live stream calendar on your site.
And there we go. That's the lineup for the next 2 days, you guys. If you have a stream and you need to get it in the lineup, email Matt and go to fishfam.link and he can get it put in there for us. And then Miss Dee Dee will do another video and get you in the lineup that we play on the morning show for you. We've got ABC Aquatic Biotope Creations said that the giveaways that he'll be doing is a $50 Jonah's Aquarium gift card and a $50 Aquarium Co-op gift card and a group of 5 rainbow shiners. Ooh. that he is breeding. Awesome. So yeah, just let us know when you hit it and when you're gonna do that stream. Kasha, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I feel like two hours isn't long enough, so I'll have to have you on again anytime. It's good with you. You're more than welcome.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And thank you for letting me, because I know I was supposed to pop in yesterday. Thank you for letting me change short notice. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Like I said, that's kind of how we fly here. It can change by the moment. But you guys, I do not know for sure if there's going to be a member stream tomorrow or not. It's just going to depend on my work. So during the summer, I have landscaping I do along with everything else. So I just have to see if I can work it in or not. But I definitely will give you one a month and then as many as I can above that. I will go out with the calendar events that are coming up. And then I think, Rico, are you going next? I believe Rico will be going after me in about an hour. So, Kasha, anytime you go live, lady, let us know. We know we'll be there.
Usually I'm random. It's one of those things. I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, I should go live. And then I do it.
Yeah.
And then like no one ever knows. They're like,
I promise you, we be there.
Oh, I appreciate it so much. And thank you for everyone who came by and hung out with us. I really appreciate it. Hello to everybody.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I always forget to check the chat because that's just like, that's something I'm not very good at. But
hey.
It's a skill. It's a skill you get when you're a good live streamer. You're able to manage. You're able to talk. You're able to manage and like answer your chat and then talk to whoever else is there. Like that's a skill.
The other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it told me that the Aquatic morning show had been on for a year, and I'm like, has it been a year? I've been live streaming 5 days a week for a year.
That's like dedication and a lot of hard work.
It is. It's like a job. It's where I'm supposed to be for 2 hours every morning, because we did used to stream on Wednesdays. I mean, it was 5 days a week for 2 hours. And then Joe Shrimp Shack and Rob, I learned about them. And then so I decided to give up Wednesdays for their time slots. That way they could stream and we weren't, I wasn't streaming while they were streaming. And our people could go there, vice versa. So I decided just to do, once I was monetized, do the members only stream after Joe Shrimp Shack. So
that makes sense.
Shrimpy Wednesdays, because most of our shrimp breeders go on Wednesdays. So, but
that's why I do random, because then I'm like, I don't need to have a schedule. I'll just pop in.
Right.
And like maybe, unfortunately, I might go over someone's time, but it'll only be one time, once in a while. Hey. So like, I hope it'll be okay.
It is. It's perfectly fine, and it's gotten to where there's not, somebody's going to stream over somebody. And I used to be a big advocate of trying to find a spot where there was nobody streaming, but it's gotten so big now that it's not possible. So
there's a lot of, but it's a good problem to have, I guess, because that just means you have different options of different people you can hang out with, and that's good.
Yes, very much so. So you guys, thank you for the super chat or super stickers. I really do appreciate it. And if you like what you see and you like hanging out, think about becoming a member. We've got 4 different slots. I think it's $2.99, $4.99, and $6.99. And there's perks with all of those. You can go check them out. But other than that, you guys, we'll see you. If not tomorrow, we'll be back with the morning show Thursday morning with Andre from Bio Aquatics is going to be our guest that day. So don't miss it. We'll see y'all then.
Yeah.